Welcome to Biomutant. Look, an emergency box from the old days, when you needed to pack a punch to survive. Wow, bet that nut makes a tight fist. The night time is the right time. Tunnels like this still carry echoes from the past. Can you hear it? Hard to see too far in the darkness. That notice board, filled with the leftovers of used-to-be wants. You're getting close to one of those old Toxanol brick towns. Pay attention. The Toxanol Corporation made this place, and then just threw it away when they were done with it. Well, small ones. Places like this were cheap back in those days, and there was plenty of space. Get done with one place, you just build another. There must be a track somewhere in this brick town. Just hope it's not buried. The board mainly has posts from those that used to work at the chug yard back in the days gone. They don't make much sense these days. Not much more to say about the board, but Gizmo is holed up in the underyard here working on that Mekton of his. The Toxanol Corporation used to run chugger-chuggers out of here, big machines on rails with smokestacks that fouled the air. They can carry you anywhere you like. Well, anywhere that they go to, and then you can leg it from there. You're on the right track. Keep your eyes open. This box once tailed a chugger-chugger. Now it's just off track. Look at that! Right in the chug yard! Follow the rails and you'll find all sorts of little treasures scattered all over the place. Who do you think? You're not the first wanderer in these parts. Good work finding that track. They can teach you so much about the world. Keep looking for more. Sky's getting grayer, lighter every moment. Tribes always scavenging for scrap, and the yard has plenty to go around. But they should have stuck to looting instead of playing around with sprockets. Bomper Bonker's busy ram-banging the door. This is your chance. half-lifed. Bullets everywhere. Shot through. Let's see. What you do here matters to you and the world. Yes, you can do anything. The sky's the limit. Now, let's take this back to Earth. Wow, you really took that all the way down to the end, in flames. That's the good stuff. It's a wonder some of these up and downs still work. Guess they built machines better in the past. The spent nuclear fuel that Toxanol dumped in the surf had detrimental effects on the marine habitats, while the overflowing landfills contaminated the groundwater. Combined, this sent their world hurtling on an inevitable road to ruin. There's a lot on the line here. I need to brush up on my Wando, but I have a feeling he believes it was you that caused the bang at the yard. Oh, and he says he knows you. You used to call him Gizmo. He gave you the oil-greased hands when he taught you how to upcycle. Gizmo remembers you as a nice kidling, and he can still sense the warmth of your good heart. But Gizmo says how you experience a memory can be different. You know the story, but sometimes the truth it brings is personal. He'd lie if he claimed it was all good. You changed after your Mooma and Popsy passed, and he understands why you had to leave. The old village being a constant reminder of what happened. He understands history made Lupa Lupin a big part of your past, your present, and soon, your future. You still believe there's some good in everyone. You still have hope for tomorrow. He says you should know that what's meant to be will always find a way, but history shouldn't consume you. Gizmo encourages that. You should forgive, but never forget. It'll provide some comfort to your soul and keep the memory of lost loved ones in your heart.
Fan that flame!
Beat out that spark before it starts.
It was so young, so fragile. It had so much to give.
Better to take it down now while you still can.
Fire catches. Eventually.
Hard to believe the world is actually going to survive. Just seemed impossible till now. Grateful to you for coming back and doing your best to change things. You were the only chance they had. Wonders if you liked working with the Myriad. They always seemed so centered and so seeking. But that's not important now. Gizmo says it's taken a long time to bring the past up to the present, and where you go from here is up to you. You need to set the past aside, at least for now. He can't leave the Underyard as he has no protection against the vacuum in the dead zone, so you need to salvage scrap to upcycle the Mekton, starting with the old crate outside. You should return when you've retrieved the scrap. There's no time to waste if you want to make the Mekton strong enough to fight the Jumbo Puff. It's the part of the land that suffered most from the apocalypse. It's deprived of oxygen, making it next to impossible for anything but creatures that were most contorted by the contamination. There's short of breath and death to this zone. Better take care. He who half breathes, half lives. No air left for whining about it. You might get a killer headache from this. That's the leftover you're looking for. How far does this underplace go on? Might keep you dry, at least. He says that's enough to get the Mekton functional. You'll have an engine, a fuel soaker, a gun, and a gathering net, but no armor, nor enough oxygen supply. Something he devised to salvage valuables from the ground. There are usually spots hidden beneath puddles of oily goo where you can use the net. He's been working on another project for the Mekton, a cannon, but it needs ammunition, and by that he means the scripts. He says if they're trained right, they'll turn into a distraction for the jumbo puff. The best way to find scripts is to go talk to Moog. He knows the ins and outs of every breathing thing left alive after the apocalypse. Unfortunately, this means you'll have to venture farther out into the dead zone than Moog's camp on the steep depot. Once you find Moog, he'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find scripts. Gizmo thinks he's a little peculiar, but very knowledgeable. He has the ins and outs of all monster and creature whereabouts. Winners get to keep moving. The Grease Monkey's Mekton is built sturdy, just like himself. Can you imagine how this place used to look before the dead oil flood? Might want to hold your breath before you head any further. You're about to witness the breathtaking vistas of what's known as the Dead Zone. In the old world, roads like this really led somewhere. Now, most of them lead to disaster. That over there is Steepo Depot, the cliffside that Moog hangs on to. Flex those arms.
Immo. Diava.
Let's see.
Vaksan maar malva cherry.
This one's impressed to see you out here. He figured you'd be dead by now. Not many are as tough and clever as you must be.
Vaksan maar malva cherry.
Says a monster hunter hears many things on the wind. Moog says that all your power doesn't do you a bit of good if you're not willing to pull the trigger when the time comes.
Gar.
Choosing what to kill and what to spare are the most important decisions you'll make.
Piada.
You might have a steady aim, but you need to be sure that you pick your targets with care.
Wow.
It's hard to make those life or death decisions for others, but someone's got to do it. Otherwise, they'll do it themselves, and you know they'll miss.
Lemma.
Claims he mostly kills whoever he doesn't like.
Jamakuda hogedatunka.
Says it's wild that the world seems to be coming back, but he supposes that means more monsters for him to shoot.
Jak intanka guru.
Wonders why you work so hard to keep things alive. Bullets help thin the herd instead.
Dakadnio umuwaka.
Says you should give up on working with the stubborn myriad. He keeps trying to put out their lights and they keep putting up new ones.
La fea nuch.
He's afraid you're just as stubborn as them.
Kumo uno shalafid.
But enough of that, right?
Kumo uno shalafid.
He says the wildlife, nature, has changed and turned against us. Instincts of survival took over when the world changed.
Echine.
He's not sure about their veggie diet anymore, and if it's changed, who knows what it's done with the chemical composition of their body output.
Jira vabasco.
Right now, though, he feels he's come to a point where he's got a pretty clear idea on the whereabouts of monsters, both tall and short.
Echine.
Says he's not sure, but if you're going to haunt something, it seems a waste not to eat it.
Zene nenaften.
Moog says you must learn to walk before you can run. It takes practice before you can call yourself a monster hunter.
Dana dieser Fehler.
Fortunately for you, he can help. He understands you need to start off with something small before you go big.
In Mo.
There's no better place to start than a squip cave. Hunting down a couple of these little critters for yourself should keep you on your toes.
Zeta in Yach.
Thinks you have bigger issues than your so-called haunting skills if you're going to nitpick on his grammar.